is like the last championship game.
Yeah.
So schools are cooking. Mizzou is cooking. Mizzou is right where we had said they were going to be.
Yeah.
I had said they're going to be 5-0 heading into Alabama.
Yep. Big matchup.
Big matchup, and they should. I don't know if they're the favorite or not. I haven't heard if they're the favorite or not, but they should be the favorite for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would hope, but I will say I watched them play Alabama play Vanderbilt this weekend. Ty Simpson is legit.
Oh yeah,
he is good.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of talk about Vanderbilt and Alabama. That's going to be a really good matchup, but I didn't see the game, so
it. Diego Pavia definitely showed flashes, but was not. He did not overtake the game.
Yeah, so
he did not overtake the game at all.
Right. So we'll see. I mean, this is a real first test for Mizzou. By the way, Football 360 show coming at you live right now, but you can catch us on YouTube as well as X. You can find us at football360show.com, and you can also catch us on KLIS 590 AM on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. And of course, you can find me, JP Rock MO, on X. JP Rock's got you on Instagram.
You can find me on X, on Elite Football, and Elite Football Academy on Instagram.
So got really super excited to talk football. Forgot all that stuff. So all the business stuff is
I know. It's like, hey, let's get all the business out of the way. But JP,
yeah,
the season, as you said, like it's like it feels like yesterday we were winning.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Now all of a sudden it's like, bam, here we are, midway. I had a young man come in. Actually, he's a really good quarterback. I'll give him a shout out. Jed Evans from Decatur, Illinois.
Jed just DM'd me.
Yeah, great young
high schools.
Yeah, so he's an 8th grader. Their season's done.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
He was back in training, right? So he came in for the weekend. He's grown a bunch. He's a really good young quarterback.
He's going to be in high.
So I'll be curious to see where he ends up going because obviously he's an 8th grader, so he can kind of decide where they want to go. He can stay home in Decatur. He can come to St. Louis, go to Chicago, Springfield.
He could go. Well, here's the thing. Here's an interesting thing we were kind of talking about. He's not your typical 8th grade quarterback.
Right.
He's one of the top quarterbacks in the entire nation already. He's already been ID. Like we talked about how quarterbacks are anointed, and so he has options in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
As well, he was telling me that school. This is how high school football is gotten.
Yeah, you know what? And I love it, and I also at the same time because I went through it last year with my son, and you go through like this scenario of like, okay, what's the best, right? What's the best for him? What's the best for our family? What's the best for his enjoyment of the game and all those things? And so I know they got to weigh all that type of stuff because at the end of the day, what I boil it down to is, hey, where are you going to be in a position to get on the field and play and get the quality reps that you need?
You have a added advantage though. You're not your typical dad or mom trying to trying to be like.
You still have trials and tribulations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
we talked it over.
I mean, there's still there's thoughts that go in, and as you know, it's no different with college recruiting. Right, you kind of got to get in where you fit in.
Yep.
You got to. There's trust. You got to trust people. You got to believe in what they're telling you, and then you have to put up or shut up.
Yeah. No,
that's at the end of the day. Like that's what any player, not just quarterback, but quarterbacks in particular, because there's only one on the field at a time.
Right.
You got to put up or shut up, and that's what it comes down to. And I think so many people play the game real hard on the recruiting side, but they forget, JP, that there's a side of where they need to actually want you, right? And so,
well, just like you said, you got to put up or shut up. So they love you when they're recruiting you, but if you don't put up, right, it's over. They're going to go with who's going to win them games, or who they feel is going to win them games, or who they like better. Right, could be off the field stuff, could be personality stuff, just as simple as that. So there's a lot going into it. In fact, before the show, we were talking about how there's quarterbacks that we know about, and I know about it through the state, and you know about it through the area, that probably are not going to be at the school that they are at right now, because various things have happened, various things are going on. There's that situation that we talked about. and they're going to be looking for new schools. And like I said, Jet and I were talking about that stuff because I was wanting to know a little bit. But yeah, I mean, people like you and I, we have that knowledge to share with people. You know, when they reach out to assist you
So
on situations
us
like
having that conversation, though, I'm sure there's people that are like, why would you even talk about that they're in high school?
that. And
The issue is if you are realistic about this, right? A lot of things have to go your way, right? And it's the odds are stacked against every single kid that's in high school.
more than ever now.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Transfer portal.
to be blind to the fact that things have changed and that these kids that are freshmen are 3 years away from making life-changing decisions if they're good enough, right? Or if they fool enough people,
Right.
truthfully,
No.
because that happens, right?
Oh, well, absolutely.
It happens all the time.
You know, it's so subjective, and it comes down to the evaluation process of each individual coach and coaching staff.
Right.
You know, so that's where you say if they can fool enough people, that's where that comes into play, right? If you can fool somebody whose evaluation process is not that great, right?
And then one domino falls, the
Yes.
momentum starts, and then more dominoes start falling. It just happens, and
Yep.
you've seen it, I've seen it, and unfortunately, it's a train wreck because you see the kids. A lot of times, those kids are the ones that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I'm going. I'm going to such and such, and I got this many offers." And it's like, no, like you don't have
It's
that.
not what you think it is, right? Because they have no knowledge. You know, there's nothing out there to prepare them for it.
None.
And so that's why it's good. And you know, I mean, people just don't know. And I'm telling you right now, I've had high school coaches, right, who've been in the business for a long time, reach out to me, and even with their own sons, right, don't know, looking for advice, looking for consultation about what do I do, what's going on. And so you think that they know, right? But they don't, because it's just not part of the whole process. There's a lot of trust on the end of coaches and players, as opposed there's a lot of
100%.
trust for the colleges coaches and college coaches staffs and the colleges in general, treating them right and looking out for their best interests. And unfortunately, this is no slam on the colleges. That's not the case, because they're in a business and they're looking out for themselves.
So that goes to my point. So if you're in high school and you're making high school level decisions, not weighing the fact that there may be implications for what you're going to do going to college. And again, not everybody's going to be a Power 4 Division
Right.
One guy that's going to get paid. But the reality of the situation is that there are a number of kids that you and I know that we deal with. A lot of it's going to come down to, ultimately what size, speed,
Skill.
results
Yeah.
on the field. But a lot of those kids have that hope and prayer
Correct.
that they're going to make it there. Their parents do too. But if they start, just kind of blindly making decisions in high school and where they go, where they play, and all that stuff, like I had a conversation with the coach about my son, and looking at the situation, he probably, because of what they have in the pipeline as far as like older quarterbacks, realistically, he can compete. Yeah, well, the problem is like a guy that's been in your system for 2 years, it's a junior, a senior when he's a sophomore, has an upper hand. And I know how that works, right? We've seen it a million times. So what I would suggest is like you look through the lens of, okay, who's the guy that's a class ahead of me and the guy that's 2 classes ahead of me? The guy that's 3 classes ahead of you doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
Because when you're a freshman, he's going to be graduating when you're a sophomore. He's gone. So you have to plan like that. That's on offensive line. That's on defensive line. That's every position. That's receiver.
Yep.
And you got to look when people have needs, and you go, well, I don't have all the resources. I got to tell you, I don't know how people figure it out, because there's plenty of people that figure it out that don't have the resources, and they figure it out, right? And so I think if there's a will, there's a way. I think also there are people making horrible decisions, jumping to schools that they're getting sold a bill of goods and then they're ineligible. I think that's really a shame.
It's absolutely
and
horrible.
it happens. I think that people make rash decisions. A lot of times the parents are not really involved. There's other adults pushing, um, so they can get a short-term gain
Yeah.
for recruiting and things like that, or excuse me, recruiting more kids to their school,
Yeah.
and they don't really help the kids get recruited.
And some of them stockpile players. You know,
Oh, it happens
there's
across
several
the country.
people, and I'm sure you know. Yeah, you might know a few. I know a few who did that thing and bounced back, and now they're ineligible, right? And they're losing their junior season. Luckily, it's just their junior season they're losing.
Right.
But that's still important because that's a moneymaker for a lot of guys, right? Depending upon where you want to go.
Well, that you really kind of just put yourself at a lower level unless they already have a bunch of offers.
Yeah.
But as you and I know, we have
Playing
seen
catch up.
instances where kids, proverbially have all the offers. They got 20 plus offers, and then you find out when they went to commit, they had 2 or 3 live offers,
Right.
and
Yes.
so that were committable. And unfortunately, that's the way it works. And so people, unfortunately, think they're different. They think it's going to go differently for them. I will tell you, I am looking at the process. Now I've helped so many people go through it. That I watch what's going on, and it's scary because, even if you have a kid that can play, the spots are becoming so few and far between that if you're not one of the top level guys coming out of your sophomore year now, you're kind of screwed. And if you're that kid that's ineligible, and then you hope and pray that your senior year comes through, the people looking at you are not the ones that you think were going to be looking at you, thought were going to be looking at you.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And so I just think a lot of people just take it really for granted. I mean, at the end of the day, if you boil it down, the first things first, you got to be a good student. Beyond that, that's like kind of like the barrier to entry, right?
Yep.
But as a football player, if you are not the most skilled person at your position, you have a problem because in your region, if you're not the most skilled guy, then you got to add in the athleticism, right? If you're not one of the top 10, 15 most athletic people at your position group, you're really in trouble. And then it goes into obviously size and weight, all of that go in, right? But there's things that get overlooked by the first two. If they're really good, 3 becomes like, okay, yeah. But if you have all 3, man, you're good to go.
I'm telling you what, even if you are okay size, or even if you test, you have the numbers, right? You're a 4.5 guy, you vertical jump 40 inches. Doesn't matter anymore, right?
No.
They used to take those guys just because of that. Doesn't matter anymore because they have so many options. I mean, look at Mizzou. We were talking about Mizzou. They have a big game coming up with Alabama. Mizzou's team right now is not built off of high school players.
Absolutely not.
It's just not. They are as good as they are because of the transfer portal. So what that's going to do is beget more transfer portal guys being the go-to, which means that's going to make it even less of a focus on high school recruiting, which means that you're going to have to do more, which means you're going to have to do more earlier. Take it all the way back to Jet Evans, right? Middle school guy. You really need to start planning in middle school, 7th, 8th grade. You better have a plan.
You better be going to events and being tested and being seen and getting written about.
Even more than that, you're going to have somebody check your skills, do some training. If you're good, if you're just a high level guy, if you're better than everybody else, could just be you're bigger, stronger, faster, right? A little more skilled than everybody. Everybody hasn't caught up to you yet. So you're going to have to watch that. But you're going to have to start formulating plans, right, on what you're going to do, including what school you're going to go to. And if you're a kid that's just going to go to a school just because that's the area you live in and you have no other options, you're going to have to look at. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. It's not you're the star athlete at your high school. You're going to be a college player. It doesn't work like that anymore, and it's really sad. And I see some kids that are just kind of stuck, right? They had some interest from some schools who stockpile players, and then that backed off, or they go over there, or they go to the school, or they enroll in a school, and it's not their cup of tea, and then they bounce back, and if they're lucky, they're eligible and can play, but otherwise, you're dealt the hand that you dealt. And and let's be frank, there are just certain schools, colleges are not paying attention to.
100%.
even if they have great players,
Right.
and that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So you're going to have a plan, not just starting in middle school, but going through high school. But once you reach college, right, you're going to have a plan. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to this school, and then I have 5 more years or 4 more years to make that jump.
And that's where okay, so then you can make the mistake of like going, hey, I'm going to go smaller school out of high school, okay? And then you have to go through the same evaluation process. What did they graduate? Who do they have coming back, right? And to think that you are going to just go in and win that job as a true freshman, very few times does that happen.
Right.
As a quarterback.
No matter how good of a high school.
And even at the offensive line, like defensive line, it's really hard to do. So, like, to think that you're just going to go in there because they recruited you and like you do something special, we've talked about it. You get to a college campus. I was talking to a kid who remained nameless, high-level recruit out of St. Louis, went to college this summer. He was up there doing practice work because they can practice down the summer, and he just came back for a weekend. And he was running routes for one of my quarterbacks, and we were just talking, and he made a comment, and I said, it happens to the best of us, right? And I've seen it happen 1,000 times. And this guy's dad played at the highest level, the highest level, and did really well for himself. And the kid looked at me, he goes, I almost feel like I can't play football anymore. And I go, yeah, I know. That's what happens because you go from this bubble in high school, you're the senior, where nothing goes. I mean,
it's all going your way.
It all goes your way. Every day is perfect. The weather's great. Every day, right? Yep. And then when you screw up, you kind of don't get coached all that much because it's kind of like it is what it is, right? Yeah, he'll figure it out. You get to college, and the speed is so different, and the ferocity of the game is so different.
Everybody's you in high school,
and then you don't catch a ball or two. You don't get nearly as many reps, but there's no forgiveness for not performing.
Right.
Okay. And
the sweet guy who was recruiting you. Like he's loving you so much.
Will tell you,
you can be in his doghouse.
With my quarterbacks, when I coach them, not train them. Training and coaching are two different things. Mm-hmm. When I'm coaching my quarterbacks, if they're on the 7-on-7 or if they're doing tackle with me, I not nice.
No, I'm
not nice.
You're Jekyll and Hyde
because I want to win.
Right.
And I know that me being nice to them is not going to allow them to flourish when they get to a situation where they're going to need somebody who's going to rough them up. Yep. And they like, oh my God, like where'd that come from, right? Because I'm not there to be your friend. Training is different because you need the brain in a different state of mind to adapt and learn and roll and get things and then pull things in, right? And
so you're what you're describing is being a father.
Yeah.
You're literally being their dad.
You have
the
to
same stuff with your children.
Yes.
Right? You have to be, you're not there to be their friend, but at the same time you're teaching them. So basically that's your role.
100%.
And that's what, to me, every high school coach should be that dad figure.
And I don't know if that always happens, right? Because there's varying degrees of why people are there doing it. And
you gotta push them along gently at times. You got to teach them what they need to do. But in the end, they're going to have to face the harsh realities of life. So you're going to have to kick a little tail to get them into where they need to be.
Listen, I have no pull, no punches. If you make a bad read, and we've already discussed what we're doing, I have no issue with you telling me what you saw or why you did what you did.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that it's a results-based world, right? Yep. So whatever the outcome was, right? You threw it short. You threw it 3 yards short on third down. Now we're punting. That's on you. Should have been the guy behind it. You got to know the sticks. You got to know the situation. You got to make the play, right?
And the reason you pull no punches is because you want them to let it happen again. Right.
It's not personal.
You're helping.
What I have found is most competitors respond extremely well to being held accountable, right? Because a lot of times in their life, no one's telling them that their stuff stinks, right? And if you're telling them that and you built rapport and trust with them, then they go, I mean, I watched on Friday night, I gave one of our quarterbacks a little bit of a, hey, man, you are moving. There's some phantom pressure. Showed them on video, like, you move too early,
I call that happy feet.
right?
Yeah.
Settle down. The next time you had an opportunity to get on the field, drove a ball into the back, just excellent ball, high level, Division I level throw, and you go, okay, that is progress. That is you listening to what we talked about, you trusting that it was there, and your skills would see you through, and then you made the throw. And I think that therein lies the beauty of coaching, because so many guys, and I will tell you, the thing that makes me sick about what I see in high school coaching, this is not just the same, this is across the board.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people getting into coaching for selfish reasons. Of course, there's a selfishness in everybody because they want to win and they want to be a part of a team. And I think there's a beauty in that. But if it's, it's for you to develop your brand at the high school, I mean, I will tell you, when I first started coaching and training, my guys, I was coaching in high school, and I started a league. And just understand, JP, and you know this, there was nobody doing what we were doing back then.
No.
Innovators and definitely out in the front.
Well, let's be honest. There's nobody who does it at the level that you do it now. Period.
Correct.
And if there is, I'd be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, a full-scale facility that does it all day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. Yeah.
It has people coming in on that scale.
Yeah.
Even the slow time of the year, we still have good,
Correct.
solid numbers, right? And this is the slow season, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about motive. And if your motive is to go build your brand, right? Like when I stopped coaching high school football the first time, I forgot what the year was, 2007. Every team we played, I coached their quarterback, and we had some good receivers at that time on every team we played. And I just said to myself, this is a conflict of interest. I got to get out of this. I can't do this. This is not good, right?
You're getting beaten by your guys that you're training.
Yeah, and then information about.
Oh, yeah.
So now, of course, I'm back coaching high school football because my son's there. So it'll be a stint when he's there. And I just want to enjoy that time with him and provide help and be a service to the team. But I will tell you a funny story.
Hold that thought. We're going to go ahead and get back to that in just a minute. But a Football 360 show, heard on X, YouTube, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You want to make sure that you do that. Of course, follow us on X, football360show.com, Apple, and Spotify as well. And KLIS 590 AM Saturday mornings. Football 360 show. Here we are back with it. Matt, you were going to tell us a funny story.
Yeah, a funny story. So this past weekend, I was coaching the game, right? I'm on the varsity. I just help out, right? So one of our players hit our quarterback, and they trained together. They played 7-on-7.
Mm-hmm.
They hit each other, boom, go down. And a couple plays later, I'm just kind of hanging, just watching what's going on, and I hear this chirping, and I can tell like the defensive end's looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking to the sideline.
Did I do bad?
And he says from the opposing team, he goes, "Do you teach your quarterbacks that?" He was like messing with me, right? The referee steps in and is like, "Hey, stop talking to him." And the kid goes, "I'm joking. That guy's my coach over there. Friends with them. This is all in good fun." I was smiling, right?
Right.
So at the end of the game, I walked up to him, and shook his hand, told him he had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
I said, what exactly were you saying? And he goes, I was asking you if you tell your quarterbacks to take a flop. Well, then it all came full circle because the quarterback came up the field. He goes, "Hey, earlier, I didn't put two and two together." Mm-hmm. He goes, "Did you see that flop I took?" So
that's how you told me.
And so they helped. He was helping him up, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man," because he went to hit him, but he wasn't going to hit him because there's respect with each other.
Right.
He said, he goes, "I laid back, let my legs go up the whole night, no penalties thrown."
Yeah. Bad acting,
right?
Yeah.
You got to draw the foul.
Yeah.
So anyway, pretty funny because these guys, you get to see that. I have not had that happen in many years because I've been off the sideline. I just decided best not to do it.
Yeah.
Decided now, obviously, the time's good just to go back and volunteer, give some time.
This is something you never
I don't
have
get it.
again.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And
why not?
I saw a friend of mine yesterday at Lindbergh, Rob Draghi, good guy,
Yep.
been coaching there for years,
Former Mizzou player.
former Mizzou player,
Yep.
great big guy, and he made a comment. He goes, "Hey, I'm in your world now." He goes, "I have two fourth graders playing junior football," and I'm like, and I stopped and I said, "Hey, listen, probably the most fun from we only did fifth through eighth.
Yeah.
Probably the most fun I've had in a long time. And I coached, tons of years earlier before that, doing junior and high school. When it's your own kid and it's his buddies and their friends and the families that you know, absolutely the time of my life. I loved it. It was so much fun. We had some really good teams. We had some adversity. We had some winning, the whole 9 yards. And then it gets to high school and it changes. The dynamic definitely changes, right? Yeah, it's different. And so you just got to drink it in. But I certainly enjoying my time in high school as well. But because it's fun to get to see it live and help those guys, right? And so, but yeah,
So does Rob? Or does he have twins?
twins,
Really?
boy and girl.
Oh wow!
And the little girls playing and the boys playing. And
are they both going to be 6'6"?
Yeah, I'm sure. And he said the funny thing I thought was he said, "Hey, he said his daughter, he's like she has not kind of the beast has not awoken in her." And I said, "Hey, listen, I am telling you, in our flag football, the girls, especially like fourth grade through like sixth grade, they dominate the boys.
Oh yeah,
because their hand-eye coordination, they physically mature."
Yep.
I was like, she'd get a run in here and get going. So yeah, but it sounds like they're having a good time. But it's fun because, and I do respect all the leagues in our area, but I do think there's something special about the junior leagues, about the teams affiliated with the middle schools, the feeder programs, whether that's the Junior GAC in St. Charles or the Park Rock or a Suburban Junior Football League, or Tri-County, different guys all over the area. That's taken nothing away from more of the select teams. But I do think there's something pretty cool when all those little guys, those fourth and fifth graders go to Francis Howell. Yeah, they're all down to elementary schools, and then they go to the middle school together, and they get to play together, and they go to the high school.
And if you have a good program, a good junior program, you're going to have a good high school program.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
That's how that works. I mean, there's a school that's doing well right now, Fort Zumwalt South, right? You see it because I'm that guy, right? I'm scouting guys starting like seventh grade. You see it. You can tell who's going to be good. And like Francis Howell, they've been good for a long time.
Good junior program.
Really good junior program. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody should do it. For the longest time, and you remember the Jeff City days, I'm sure Justin Gage can tell you, they were so good because they were one of the few schools that they were running the exact same offense and defense and doing everything from like fourth, fifth grade on.
So you look at like Secton, they have and they could correct me if I'm wrong, but they have anywhere from 180 to 200 high school players out right now. Okay. Well, if you look down the line at their little guys in middle school, and not every one of their teams is the best, but they're not. They have really good teams, and depending on the age group, right, you kind of help hostage to who comes out and plays. But they run their system, right, and they do a really good job of running their system and not pretending that they're anything different. They have adapted. I see they're passing a lot more right now, but they are hardcore. They will run the ball down your throat, but they do a great job at the middle school level of getting community involvement, teaching, but providing community. And everybody beats St. Louis up because they say, "Oh, where'd you go to high school?" But if you think about it, if you live in Chesterfield, you can go one of 4 or 5 different high schools. If you live in O'Fallon, Missouri, you could go to probably one of 5 high schools, right?
Wentzville.
What's the same thing? So you don't really know what neighborhood and where those people truly are from until you drill it down to like the school. Like, oh, okay, like I know where Clayton is.
Yeah.
I know where Washington is. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, I know that town. Great. I know where Zumwalt East is, right? Or Zumwalt West, or Parkway West, whatever it is. So there is a community component to that I think gets kind of overlooked sometimes. And I think it's such a big deal.
On the high school or the junior?
At the junior level. And it just builds, though, because I will tell you, going back to my experience, getting to play on the varsity game field, on a turf field, at the stadium, as a little guy, and having the cheerleaders there, and the stands are packed at some of these games.
The parents
It is packed.
are more involved, quite frankly,
100%.
than on the high school level. I go to high school games, and you don't even know the parents are there, right? The junior leagues,
Yeah.
they're trying, you're holding them back from climbing the fence, right? They want to get in on the action. They're that passionate about it.
But it's a game day. So many of the schools do a great game day experience, and I don't know sometimes like how connected some of the high schools are, because I know that they're feeders.
Yeah.
But like, you are missing a huge opportunity if you're not involved with that junior team, and those coaches that are given their time and volunteering. I mean, those guys are the lifeblood of the game. And I do think there's a lot of disrespect towards junior football coaches, in my opinion, my experience, because it's like, oh, yeah, but they're not high school guys. But the reality of it is, there are a ton of men that are professionals in their own right, in their own world, that bring that discipline and that execution of what they do in their daily lives down to the football field, and they have football knowledge.
They might be more important because those are really formative years.
Very formative.
And so they might be more important as far as bringing them along, teaching them.
Yeah.
Right, because by the time you get to high school, you remember being in high school. By the time you get to high school, I know everything, and the coach doesn't have time to,
Well, the structure is different.
Right. Doesn't have
Structure's
time
way
to make
different.
sure that you know everything you know. Whereas, you want to talk about teaching, you got to teach, right? I mean, you can let little guys run out there and bang into each other all day, or you can teach them.
So, and I will tell you, it's much easier to write off a kid in high school, because you're right. That attitude's like, yeah, they know, but they're all
can't help him, can't work with him.
Yeah, he's a
know-it-all. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when they're little guys, though, like, you don't get a lot of that. Yeah, you might get some, but the vast majority might be parent issues, not kid issues.
Right.
Typically.
And they're gone if they're a bad issue.
Right.
Just go bye.
So I am a big proponent of the junior football leagues, the feeder leagues. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and I love seeing it. And I'm telling you what, I mean, quite frankly, I mean, I think a lot of that is the moms that make that stuff go. The moms are like pretty rabid. They're on top of the schedule.
They go from, I'm not going to let Johnny play football,
correct,
to
they're wearing the jersey.
They got the jersey. Yeah, I have a friend of mine who, for years, his wife was not going to let their son play football.
Yeah.
And they decided to let him play. And next thing you know, she's got the jersey, she's taking pictures, she's doing the whole nine, because once you realize, and the facade of this barbaric sport is like revealed and like squashed, right, and removed, and you realize it's a game of discipline. It's a game of just being absolutely dialed in and being in sync with your team.
The benefits from it, the mental toughness,
and their grades go up while they're playing football. All those things, and let's call it the way it is. Young boys oftentimes are getting talked to as young boys should get talked to.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't get that a lot of other places where, and they're not, long gone are the days to berate someone just to berate them, but the whole, they put guardrails on young men and give them a pathway to say, hey, wrong way, right way, right down the middle, right? And so that's the beauty of football.
Plus, one of the great things about football, and I'll go there, is that it allows them to be young men. Okay, our society at large, and I'm not going to get on a tangent because I could, but our society doesn't a lot of times want young men to be young men, to be boys, right? It allows them an outlet to be that, to be a masculine young man, just your natural nature, right?
Aggression,
running, because a lot of boys. I have daughters, but I have grandsons, whatever, and man, they're just a little energy, right? And my daughter's like, God damn! I'm like, she hasn't seen me as a kid, right? I was always in it. Right?
And that, I think, and I've always told kids, like, the beauty of football, especially when they were new to it in middle school, I say, you get to do things out here that you can do nowhere else in your life.
Right.
And you are going to be rewarded for it.
Yes.
And if you do it in that school right there,
Yeah.
you're going to get
Yeah.
expelled. You're going to get
The
detention. You're going
officer
to get
might wanna
whatever.
talk to you, yeah.
So enjoy it, right? And
Yeah.
get to play
It's a
within
great
the
outlet.
rules.
Yep.
Play within
Yep.
the rules. Don't be that guy that's
Right, right,
belly
right.
flopping on kids after the play. But you need to be the person who can go out and fully enjoy and use the body you've been given,
Yeah.
right? And do
And
the gifts that
compete.
you've been
Yeah.
given and compete.
And not be judged because you are competitive. Right.
Oh,
And that's a lot of thing with young men. I mean, it's just your nature. You're going to be competitive. There's going to be another guy you want to compete with them. That's human nature.
well, let's look at a bigger scale, right? Do we want those guys to grow up? We want those young men to grow up and compete in the marketplace.
Organized.
Because what that's going to do is going to move our society forward.
Yep.
Heaven forbid we get in another war. Do you want our young men competing?
Right.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you kind of do. I think we're sitting here talking like this because someone else competed.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Want them to be athletic enough to be able to compete. I mean, that's one of the great things about it. But you're right. Back to the whole moms change their mind about that too, because I had that thing. You know, my nephews, right?
Yeah.
Their mom was like that. You know, before we had children, my wife was like, he's never going because they know about your injuries or whatever that you went through, and so they're worried about it. But you know, the boys, you know, my nephews that you know, they were, you know, mom was like, oh no, they're never going to play football. The brutes.
And then she's up there cheering.
The jersey.
She knows all about the game, knows who everybody is.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, my wife oftentimes will be more over the top of things than me, right?
Which is a surprise because she's quiet and
she's
calm.
she don't get her man.
Right.
Yes, but she's very observant, as the moms are, right? Probably much more so than we are.
Yeah.
We're just go.
She's more
right?
civilized than you are.
Right.
Our wives are way more civilized.
It's the yin and the yang, right? So, but I think that becomes the beauty of it. And I think, you know, the NFL's got this, you know, the big kick with flag football and all that. I think they're trying to attract women to the game. But I will tell you, they've had women for many, many years because the mothers are the backbone of the game of football. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the beauty of it. And you know, not taking nothing away from flag. We love flag. We do flag. But they're different games. I mean, they're completely different games. It is one uses a football for, you know, the skill component.
Yeah.
But it's a different game. But I will tell you, I watched a female high school flag football game. Man, oh man! There's no gear other than the protective headgear.
Right.
I watched two girls. I mean, let's just put it this way: there's going to be probably some recalibration of the rules because of the number of girls I watched bounce their heads off the carpet.
Wow.
Just because there's like you're running full speed, and if you're going to a powder puff game, I watched a girl get trucked. In a powder puff.
So do they not train them how to fall?
I don't know. I mean, because you're going in to try to pull their flag, and the field's pretty big.
Right. Yeah, but you know how that goes.
I know. It's just the short game I watched, I was shocked. There was two girls that basically had to leave the game. I don't know what their status was after, but you know, they both. They had protective headgear on, but the problem is you have protective headgear. I watched a kid in a football game yesterday with the helmet on, get tackled, hit his head back, and he's out of the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. But girls in competitions like that, like my daughter played lacrosse. Man, they're brutal.
They're aggressive.
Girls get
very aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that all works out. You know, how it rolls out throughout the state and they start to play it.
Yeah, I really haven't heard much about it. I mean, I just have zero interest.
They're starting to form. Teams are starting to form.
Yeah, and I mean that's just how it is with me. I'm just, you know, good luck and God bless and everything like that. But that's just not my thing. You know, I don't deviate from my focus is football 100% of the time, which I think kind of helps with what I do.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
So yeah, it's just a little bit being that centered on it. So yeah, we got high school football. You know, we're 6 games in to the season. Like you said, it seems like we were just gearing up for Lindenwood. And then the summer was going. And then there was a lull before the season started. And now here we are, 6 games in, and 3 teams are in Class 6 are up at the top according to the media, right? Which is the one that I go by because I'll give them a little bit of a break because I think they have actually people from across the state who vote on this stuff as opposed to somebody trying to get likes and follows on social media who I've never seen a team play or never left the county that they live in, and they're doing statewide rankings on guys.
Well,
But no surprise here. The top 3 guys in Class 6 are Blue Spring, well, in order, number 1, Nixa, CBC, and Blue Spring South. Go back to the beginning of the season. Who did we have on the very first show?
those 3 coaches.
Those 3 coaches. We know a little something about a little something. And those teams are cooking. I mean, if we had more time, we're running out of time. We could talk about, man. We probably need to. You were talking about the development of quarterbacks. Nick McClellan is a story.
Okay, so real quick.
Oh, can we do?
Do we?
Yeah.
Does the conversation shift to him playing college quarterback?
I've already done that shift, and I included it with things.
Yeah.
And he actually has had some interest from some schools. Now, unfortunately, it seems like it's mostly like military academies.
Yeah.
You know, those types of schools. Same kind of schools that were like after Aiden Wilhelm, quarterback from Blue Spring South. I personally think he could do whatever he wants. He's a football player.
I mean, obviously he can play defensive back at a high level,
right.
But he is showing a high level skill set. He worked. You know what? He still comes in. He trains. He does his thing. I think that colleges need to start looking at him. And I'm not trying to in any way get in the way of a commitment or any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is I think he's opening some eyes. And if you look at his body of work last year and as a sophomore, and you look at it right now,
that was my point. He was thrown into a state championship game as a sophomore, took a beating. Let's be honest, right? And from then till now, you know, you can do a documentary. Oh, absolutely, you do a little documentary on that one. So,
and he's got the demeanor to play at the high level because people want to play for him.
He does. So those 3 schools are pretty much in the driver's seat right now. But there are actually there's probably like 4 more schools. But the ones that really kind of jump out to me that I think are real sleepers. Jackson's really good, right? 6-0. Mm-hmm. They usually have a tough time getting out of their bracket though to make it. But they're really good. They've got huge offensive linemen.
Oh yeah.
You know, guys that we know well. You know, in Harris and Wessel. You know, elite combine guy. They got a good quarterback in Drew Parsons. They got speedy little running backs, Hampton, and they've got good receivers and good solid defense. SLU is really, really just come on. And I think that they're going to probably surprise some people.
That senior class is really solid, top to bottom.
Came in with Coach Cruz. And he's talked to me about it. Yeah, his first group, and man, they're just really coming on, and they're building, and they've got some really talented young guys coming up through the pipeline too. Yes. You know, Anthony Busby, who's already picked up a bunch of D1 offers, and some freshmen who are really good. You know, Tristan Johnson, who picked up an offer from Nebraska. I think was his first offer. 6'5" wide receiver, tight end guy, who you're pretty familiar with. Yep. SLU's going to be interesting. They got a showdown on the 17th, I think it is, with CBC. That I don't know how they're going to fit enough people
for the MCC title.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to fit enough people there. Liberty, Missouri, another team who a lot like Jackson, you know. But I mean, Liberty's just run defense and run the ball. They'll run the ball down your throat. They go about 6'4", 300 across the offensive line. And they always have running backs, running quarterback, dual threat guy. And, you know, a long time ago, learned in high school football, if you can run the ball and play defense, you're going to win a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to
works.
You're going to win a lot. So they're what? Lafayette is an interesting team, and I don't know how familiar you are.
Yeah, pretty familiar.
Okay, their quarterback,
Brady Misek.
It's
a
stud who's been a stud for years. And I remember talking to you and being like, man, how come Brady's not playing?
Yeah, why not work him in more?
Here, I mean, I think he's 16 touchdowns, 0 picks, throwing for over 1,200 yards.
Yep.
But see, Lafayette's another team who's just not star driven, right?
Yeah, but they are consistent, man.
Yes, they are.
And when they were in middle school,
yeah, here we go.
they ran the board from 5th grade through 8th grade. Maybe had a loss, maybe not. Now they lost their running back with the CDC. He's now out of the picture for both schools.
Interesting. That story is interesting.
Yeah, but that core group of kids has been there since day one. They were instrumental in that push last year, and now they're instrumental in the push this year.
Right.
And I think the kids are loving it and buying into the Coach Mueller's new system.
Yeah. And and then so those teams to me are just like above. I mean, Lee Summit North is good. Blue Spring South pretty much handled them pretty easily last week. St. Dom is interesting being in Class 6 at 6-0. I get a chance to see them against Cape Central a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty down there in the Marcus there.
Oh yeah, but being a man 6A for them, come on.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
So that's why
It's
no
not fair.
disrespect to
It's
them.
not fair. No,
Correct.
they know it. It's
Right,
not
okay.
fair.
Good. I think that the Smet is a sleeper team that people better watch. They're young. They're very young. I was at their game against Lee, and Coach Merritt was pretty. He was not happy, but he was like, we're young. I told you we're young, but I think they're clicking a little bit more
We're playing
now,
a lot of young guys.
right? So, and then hurry up here real quick. I'll just run off some classics. Platte County is just the class. Other thing. Good luck to everybody like that. Rockhurst, I got a chance to see them a couple weeks ago in person against Lee Summit West, and I thought they might have a chance, but they're young. They're not at Platte County's. Rocco Marriott is just a monster.
Video game numbers.
And guess what? Now all of a sudden, Power 4 schools are, hey, how you doing, young man? Which we knew we had talked about that was going to happen. In fact, we talked having personal conversations with people who said what was going to happen. You know a thing or two about it. And then of course Cardinal Ritter I think is gonna be there as well. Although I just saw Eureka beat a good Summit team, and they're gonna be interesting as well.
Eureka's always solid, man. Coach
Always
Summer does
solid.
an excellent job of preparing those guys. They take it dead serious and they do a great job.
Yeah, hopefully we were solid this week. Well, back in the saddle. Gotta get back into it.
Knock some rust
Full
off.
bore, knock
We
some
have
rust
people
off.
asking. I had people asking, what happened? Where'd you guys go? It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
hiatus, 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you'd be like, "It's JP."
We're back.
We're
back.
We're back, and better than ever before. So get out, enjoy football. It's gonna go by quick, and then it's gonna be over with. So get out and enjoy it. Where can people reach you at, Matt?
EliteFootball.net for all of our football programs, which we have boom trials coming, middle school combine and high school combine registrations are up and live and rolling. We got people registering already.
I'm seeing that stuff already. I'm seeing places already having they're having their events in December. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
People are having camps and combines in December.
I would stay away from camps and combines in December.
What he said, and
You're not going to be ready.
Right. You can reach me on X, JP Rock MO, JP Rock Scout U on Instagram, football360show.com, of course, Spotify, as well as Apple for the podcast if you're just an audiophile guy. And of course, check us out on X, follow us and YouTube, like, share, subscribe, slam it, all that stuff. Everybody enjoy their week. It's been fun, and we will talk to you soon. See ya.